towering above them all is my next guest, uttering those immortal words at the beginning of every episode. Fame costs. Right here is where you start paying. In sweat. That place must have smelled like a hellhole. It's great stuff. Welcome, Debbie Allen. So you have to pay for fame with sweat?
That's right. And blood, too, sometimes.
Blood, dancers particularly,
yeah,
blood.
Your feet and your toenails, you know, and your knees and your back hurts and you can't eat ice cream and, oh, it goes on and on and on and on. But it's worth it. It's worth it. When you get in front of an audience and you score, there's nothing like it in the world.
I didn't have to do anything like that.
I
didn't really. No, I didn't. I sweat a lot, but that's just fright. I tell you, particularly when you hadn't turned up at around about 5 to 7, I was doing a bit of sweating. But you're a long way to come, of course, from Stratford.
From Stratford, yes. We're there putting our show together.
Well, you're looking good, and it's great to see. You know, in the original movie of Fame, you only had 2 lines to say, isn't it?
That's right. They cut my part out. I was really supposed to be a love interest for Leroy and a foil for Coco. But by the time Alan Parker shot for 2 weeks, he already had a 10-hour movie. So they sent me my dress and told me to stay home. And they sent me a check, and they said, thank you very much. But then when they decided...
When the television series started, they gave you the main part?
Yeah, they said we wanted a real dance teacher. I said, okay, you got it.
Yeah, and Lydia, where did the character of Lydia come from that we all knew and loved so well? A very determined and ruthless and hard-driving lady.
Well, she's a little bit of Debbie Allen.
She's a little bit of you?
Yeah. All of Lydia is a little bit of me. It's not all of me, just a little bit. I mean, I'm
remember
tough.
that cane she used to have?
Yes, that's how my teacher taught me. She used to hit you, honey, and you would never make that mistake again. That's right. You know, you're more threatened by that cane than the teacher walking around. So my teacher, Madame Tatiana Semenova, who was of the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, darling, you don't fool around, honey. And I was up there dancing, and she went, BAP! And I went, and I never made that mistake again. So I used that in Fame. I had a little African carved stick, though.
And was that what made the dancers so good, that discipline?
Yes, but also the fun and the love. Boy, we had a great time in rehearsal. Oh, we used to laugh just as hard as we'd sweat. We did!
I don't believe it. No, I don't.
It's true!
Nobody believes that about show business in this country. They're a very cynical crowd. They think that people are at each other's throats all the time.
No. Like, we're putting together Carrie right now at the Royal Shakespeare in Stratford. And I have a dance company now that makes me remember Fame a lot because they're fabulous dancers. They're fresh, they're young, they're eager to hit that stage.
But you remember when you came across with the cast of Fame and you toured here?
Yes.
I've been looking at the clippings, and they said that you ruled that with an iron fist and that they all hated you and you were really tough.
That was so terrible. Those stories were put out by a man that I had thrown out of the theater because he was not a nice man. No, I did. He wasn't nice. He was bad. He was trying to get the kids to do bad things, and it was my responsibility to protect those children, to get the show up, and I was working very hard. I have 2 kids of my own now. Then I had 20, okay?
What about with the RSC? You must have about 40.
Well, I got some help now. I have Terry Hands as a director, and he's pretty tough, too.
What does he think of you?
I think he likes me a lot. We have a relationship that's... All right, now, don't start. I'm a married woman.
This woman is married to a fellow of about 6'7" who's a basketball player. We'll send him up to the balcony in a minute.
Well, we do have a relationship that's very much Professor Higgins and the little scuttlebutt in My Fair Lady and Eliza Doolittle. Is that her name? Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm learning so much from him, and he challenges my thinking. And I challenge his thinking, and he's dancing now. Honey, he's got some dance shoes now. You should see him in rehearsal. This line, Debbie, I don't know. That step looks twitchy. And I wonder, well, child, what are you talking about? Step looks twitchy.
Well, can you show us a few steps you're teaching him?
Well, why don't you come and let me teach you a step that we do?
No, yeah, no. John, Harry, who told you to play?
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, that's my...
Why do you do it? Let's just show you.
Well, we do. 1 thing.
You gotta hold it still.
No. More hips. That's it. 5.
knees together.
Knees together. Now come forward. And back. And forward. And forward.
All right, sit down. Enough.
You're a good student. You paid attention.
Light on the feet for such a big man, don't you think? A certain cat-like agility.
Yeah.
My children have now switched the television off because whenever their mother and I dance, to annoy them, they leave the room.
To annoy them.
Probably left home now. Now you're choreographing for Carrie.
Yes.
Which is based on the Stephen King horror story that was a horror movie. So, I mean, how can that be a musical? I mean, hardly the stuff of musicals, is it?
Well, I think so. It's a great idea. I was so attracted to this idea and to the music. It's the best score I've heard in 10 years. And Michael Gore, Larry Cohen, and Dean Pitchford, who did Fame. We were friends from a long time ago. They played the score for me years ago. And I listened to it, and it was incredible. And it's a great idea. It's not any more of a horror story than is Romeo and Juliet. It's kind of like Fame with a macabre ending. Sweeney Todd for children. Sort of. I mean, you could say it that way, but it has a great energy to it. The dancing is spectacular. It's a great big dance show. And the music is divine, and the cast is incredible. Oh, we found a wonderful young girl from London to play Carrie. Oh, and she's just so wonderful. We're so excited.
What's her name?
Lindsay Hatesville.
Lindsay Hatesville.
Yes.
Lindsay Hately.
No.
Yeah. And the thing about this is, of course, you're doing it with the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford, right?
Yes.
And then it's not coming into the West End, it's going to Broadway.
Well, you know, there's so much theater in London. There was no theater available that could accommodate our set. We wanted to come here, but you all are so booked with so much theater, so we're going to go straight to Broadway, and I know it's going to be a big success. But we're going to be in Stratford for a month, and if people hurry up, they can still get a
But
ticket.
as people, you see, would think, oh, we won't go into the politics of this, but they think Royal Shakespeare Company is doing the show, and it's trying out for Broadway. It's not actually trying out for the West End of London.
But why shouldn't we not share? I mean, the Royal Shakespeare is the heartbeat of the theater in the entire world. Why not have the best of theater come straight from there to go anywhere? I think it's a tremendous compliment. And I think for us, it's wonderful. We're all in a process that is a very learning environment. I mean, we've all read Winter's Tale, Measure for Measure, Julius Caesar, but to see it there and put up in the way that they do things, I mean, we're all getting such a tremendous education.
I hope it is a big success for you. And for what else were you going to say?
Well, because it's also a half American and half English cast. And that's fantastic because there's all these unions and rules about, oh, the English children, we don't want those dances over here, and over here they don't want those American dances over there. And we put them together now. And it's a,
So there's no American equity complaints about British artists in America?
No, this is wonderful. So this is progress. This is the way it should be. When all the politicians can't get it together, let's let the artists figure it out, and let's have a communication.
Good. We wish you well with Carrie. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
And you don't sweat much at all.
Yes, I do.
I do. I haven't done that. But I hope that you'll stay with us because interesting people to meet. But in the meantime,
Yes, I will.
Debbie, thank you for
Thank you.